The Tudors, a 16th century bloody soap opera with better costumes. If you thought Days of Our Lives or The Bold and the Beautiful were dramatic, let me introduce you to The Tudors. The original soap opera, complete with beheadings, scandalous affairs, and enough political intrigue to make your head spin, or roll depending on who you upset. This 16th century family drama had it all. Love, betrayal, power struggles, and a cast of characters who made modern-day reality TV stars look like amateurs. The only thing missing was a dramatic voiceover saying, "Previously on The Tudors." But let's start with the leading man. Henry VIII, the Kardashian of his time. Henry was the ultimate drama king. He started off as a handsome, athletic Renaissance man. Think Brad Pitt in Troy, but with more ruffs. By the end of his reign, he was more like Marlon Brando in The Godfather, brooding, paranoid, and prone to explosive decisions. His love life was a revolving door of wives, mistresses, and unfortunate women who didn't realize that marrying Henry was basically signing up for a reality show where the prize was survival. Catherine of Aragon, wife number 1, was the loyal spouse who stuck by Henry for over 20 years. But when she couldn't produce a male heir, because, biology is totally the woman's fault, Henry decided to rewrite the rules of marriage and religion. Enter the English Reformation, which was basically Henry's way of saying, "I'm divorcing you, and I'm taking the church with me." Catherine was like the original contestant on Survivor, who got voted off the island but refused to leave quietly. Then came Anne Boleyn, wife number 2, the ultimate femme fatale. Anne was the Tudor equivalent of the girl who stole your boyfriend in high school. Except instead of just stealing him, she convinced him to start a new religion. Anne was smart, ambitious, and knew how to play the game. But in the end, she learned the hard way that Henry's love was about as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake. Accused of adultery and, hilariously, witchcraft, Anne lost her head, literally. Talk about a bad breakup. Jane Seymour, wife number 3, was the nice one. She gave Henry the son he always wanted, but then she had the audacity to die in childbirth. Rude. Still, Jane was the only wife Henry actually mourned, probably because she didn't live long enough to annoy him. Anne Meast of Cleves, wife number 4, was the one who got away, with her head still attached. Henry married her sight unseen based on a flattering portrait. 16th century catfishing, anyone? And was so disappointed when he met her in person that he called her the Flanders mare. Anne, being smarter than the average Tudor, agreed to an annulment, got a nice castle, and lived happily ever after. She's the real winner of this saga. Catherine Howard, wife number 5, was the young, bubbly one who probably thought marrying a king in his 50s was a good idea. Spoiler, it wasn't. Catherine's past caught up with her, and Henry, who was not exactly the forgiving type, had her executed. At this point, Henry's marriage track record was starting to look like a horror movie franchise. The Tudors, bloodier and more beheadings. Finally, there was Catherine Parr, wife number 6, the ultimate survivor. She outlived Henry, which was no small feat. Catherine was like the contestant on The Bachelor who realizes the guy is a walking red flag and just hangs on long enough to get the roses and then dips. But let's not forget the supporting cast. There was Thomas Cromwell, Henry's right-hand man, who helped orchestrate the annulment from Catherine of Aragon and the rise of Anne Boleyn, only to be executed himself when he fell out of favor. Then there was Thomas More, the principled guy who refused to go along with Henry's divorce plans and paid the ultimate price. And who could forget Cardinal Wolsey, the power-hungry clergyman who tried to play both sides and ended up losing everything. The Tudors had more backstabbing than a Game of Thrones season finale. And let's talk about the fashion. The Tudors were the original influencers when it came to style. Henry's outfits were so extra that he probably spent more time getting dressed than he did ruling. And the women's gowns? Stunning. Sure, they were probably incredibly uncomfortable and required a small army to put on. But hey, fashion is pain. In the end, The Tudors was the ultimate soap opera, complete with all the drama, betrayal, and over-the-top moments we love. The only difference is that instead of cliffhangers at the end of each episode, there were actual heads rolling. So the next time you're binge-watching your favorite drama series, just remember, The Tudors did it first, and they did it with way more flair and blood. Please like and subscribe.